This has been a very unusual presidential election for lots of reasons. One of the really weird things about it is that one of the candidates, Kamala Harris, has barely been in it for any length of time at all. Normally they might have a year or so to bed in. And as a result, let's have a look at our poll tracker here. As a result, we have perhaps less data than we normally would, but we do have some, particularly on this question around net favourability, i.e., do American voters like either Kamala Harris or Donald Trump? You basically get all of the people that do like them, and you take away that number from the number of people who dislike them, and then you get net favourability. And you can see we've got this particular bit of data, long time horizon, all the way back to January and before that as well. And one thing you will perhaps notice is that neither Kamala Harris nor Donald Trump have been terribly popular with the American electorate. They're both sort of bumping along the bottom here in terms of net unfavourability, really. And you can see that Kamala Harris has been even more unpopular than Donald Trump, who is himself a very unpopular presidential candidate. You can see Kamala Harris perhaps associated here with all sorts of different problems, including the immigration problem that Biden tasked her to dealing with, generally not a popular political figure. And yet, then something rather miraculous happens, and we've seen it unfold in the last month or so, around this time here, in late July, early August, when Joe Biden steps down. It's almost like there was a kind of collective sigh of relief from the American public, who have been yearning for, crying out for, a different choice other than Biden, Trump all over again, and are intrigued by Kamala Harris. So she has this golden Democratic National Convention. She enjoys some fantastic media coverage, and her net favourability, guess what, goes up. More American voters decide that actually we quite like the look of Kamala Harris after all. And so you can see she's been enjoying for the last month or so a significant margin, a significant gap here between Donald Trump's favourability number and Kamala Harris. And yet, just in the last couple of weeks or so, the latest data, there is just the sort of first glimmers that perhaps this might not sustain. That after that sort of post-convention glow that she's enjoyed, that some of that sheen is starting to come off, and Kamala Harris's unpopularity or popularity is starting to decline, and Donald Trump's is starting to go up. Perhaps Donald Trump's attack on her as being too liberal, too left-wing and so on is starting to cut through with the American public. One real source of optimism for Harris, though, and one of the reasons this debate is so important, is that most Americans still feel that they don't know that much about her, whereas they know loads and loads about Donald Trump. Everyone's got an opinion on Donald Trump. Kamala Harris still remains a relatively unknown quantity. So if she can introduce herself to the country in this debate, then she still has a good chance. It's one of the many reasons this debate is going to be unusually pivotal and crucial for the Harris campaign.